Manoj, you can start.
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. Hey, hi everyone. I'm Manoj. I'm working in Lenovo as a UX designer, and I have 5 years of experience, and I'm from India. It's really nice meeting you all. Uh, I'll just quickly dwell into the workshop. Before that, I thought like we can have a small activity. Like, do we have pen and paper or like a blank canva in the laptop? That would be great.
Some of the folks couldn't hear you, apparently.
Is
Just
it?
a moment. Yeah. Um,
Is it better now, Shilja?
uh, just a minute. They're
Okay.
working on the projector. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, Manoj. Yeah. I think the issue is resolved now. Like, can you just start explaining? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I will start from first. So, hello everyone. I'm Manoj. I'm working as UX designer in Lenovo for last 1 year, and I have been in industry for 6 years, where I worked on majorly multiple MNCs as a consultant for up to 12 companies. So, it's really nice meeting you all. And just before moving on to the workshop, let's have a small activity, just a warm up to understand like what is UI and UX. So it would be really great if you guys have a pen and paper or a blank canva where you can draw what I'm trying to say in next session. So I'll just give 2 minutes where you can prepare yourself with pen and paper, and I will just share my screen. I just hope everyone is ready with pen and paper or the canva. So I just want you to draw the word gift. So I'll just give a minute. You can draw whatever you feel. The word is gift, GIFT. I will just share it in chat. Okay, time is up. Like, I just want to understand, like, how many of you have drawn a box and a ribbon? Like, you can raise your hands or Silcha, you can point. How many of them are done?
Yeah, I have drawn a box and with a ribbon.
Okay. How many of you, like, you can raise a hand or you can drop it in chat. Okay. You can drop in chat what else you have drawn. Like, everyone. Like, if it is not a box and ribbon, what else you have drawn?
I draw like a birthday cake.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, today's my birthday, so I draw a birthday cake.
Okay, nice. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sure. I'll just it's really great. Like, many people used to draw a box and ribbon, but I'll just give you another 1 minute where you can draw the gift that you actually received in the past, or that the gift you actually presented to someone. So you can again draw the word gift in 1 minute, like whatever what you have received in your life or you presented to someone. Oh, sure. You can share what you are drawn in the second drawing, the first and second both. So I'll just proceed with it. Like, basically, many would have drawn box and ribbon, but if not, it's really interesting that many of you have thought something different. So, as you can see, like in first and the second, the first is more of like how you want other people to perceive the drawing. It's more like communicating with the person, the viewer. So, which is something that we work on UI, user interface, where we will be building on icons, the layouts. We basically try to give visual language to the user. So that's the first part that you have drawn, where most people will draw box and ribbon, which kind of communicates it's a gift. So when the moment they saw the picture, they will understand it's a gift. But in the second one, where you have drawn, you basically drawn the gift which is based on the experience that you had. So which is more of like UX, where that is something that connects with the user. So this is the difference between the first drawing and the second one. So this is a small warm up to understand like what UI and UX is about. Like, it's a visual which is part of which is UI, and the experience is part of UX. Just a small warm up. So I'll just proceed with sharing my screen with the other topics that we have planned to take today. So let me is my screen visible?
Yes, Manoj.
Yeah, perfect. I'll just present it here. So yeah, there is something called like UX as life skill. That is how I perceive UX. So user experience is something like the design process that we adapt in our life, like that can be applied everywhere. So basically, let's say if you know about the design process where you kind of research yourself and then you kind of understand the competitors and then you kind of evaluate the ideas and then you build a small prototype and test it out and you build a large scale product. So same thing kind of applies wherever you go. So for example, let's say a small entrepreneur person is trying to open a grocery shop or something. So he will also do the research and he will also try to understand where he can put the shop and what's the demand there and then who are the competitors in the same street, and then he will try to understand whether this product will sell it or not. He will try to invest a small amount and he will try to prototype on it, like whether this particular vegetable is selling or not. So basically they are also following the same user UX and design process, but it's just in when we learn about it we kind of organize it and they don't. They kind of try the same, which is kind of similar. Basically they apply the same psychology concept of what we apply in the corporate life as well. So in that way, in that perspective, I feel like UX is like a life skill where if you want to make some career decisions or if you want to start a startup or something, you can apply the same principle wherever it is. Like it can be physical product, it can be a family decision, you can apply everywhere these methodologies. So that is something I would say, don't think it as a just a corporate skill, but think it like a life skill. So that is important thing I learned in my experience in UX industry. So moving on, I will just show what are the design approach that I do in research in R&D in Lenovo. So there is something like which I found interesting in Lenovo is like they have a different approach where in MNCs or in R&D department it works different, where you they have multiple products where we will be designing like kind of redesign and enhance the user experience. So basically you have to be like a person and you have to reach out to stakeholders who can be product owners, where you have to kind of pitch your ideas and then you have to get the budget and then that's how you get paid. So I'll just demonstrate on small approach that what we do. So there is one product that in Lenovo we call it a service connect. So basically that kind of helps the company to understand what are the products, like the Lenovo products they have, where they can explore how much hardware is in out of warranty and how much can be in live support, in IT support. So basically a tracking of dashboards. So in that product, like how we start is like we do a design study. So where you kind of break down into one small component and you start with UX audit. So basically this flow is for the redesign purpose, where you will kind of you will do a UX audit in the current website, the current design pattern, where you try to evaluate the consistency and usability and accessibility factors, and you kind of provide the stakeholders. It will be product owner and product managers, where you kind of tell them what's the purpose, how they can improve the website, and how there be a return of investment based on that. So first you will do the UX audit and then you do a one-on-one interview with multiple people. So you basically get the list and you have to identify different kind of personas from the list. So basically in our cases it will be the novice user and the expert users. So who has been used this product for more than a year and the people who are recently joined. So in that way, you kind of get the perspective how the new users work on the application and how the expert user work on the application. It sometimes the demographic can change. It can be depend on age. So basically, you build personas based out of it. So one example would be like here I have done the research and I got the data types where demographic region wise also it's changed, and then we also looked into the user types as well. So you can kind of identify which personas you are trying to approach, and then in that way you will get different perspectives of each personas. S- So once you did with the interviews, we will be getting all the datas. So with those datas, we will kind of just so I can show this map where we kind of adapt. Sorry. So where we all the sets of user, we kind of add the data points into the from each user statements, and we do affinity where we kind of club together the same data points as a group. So you can see the pain points. Once we club together same problem statement that been set by multiple user groups, we kind of identify what those are, and then we give a title, and we kind of identify what exactly the pain point is. So we have multiple insights. So based on grouping, we will kind of converge into 4 or 5 particular set of pain points based on the large data that you have based on the research. So from there you can like adopt how might we like different approaches where we can generate ideas. So how might we will help you, like let's say the user value transparency and accuracy to build trust. So I will build a question like how can we give transparency and accuracy, like build a trust to the user. So based on that you will have some ideas and you can pitch a concept out of it. So that is like how might be is a one method where we can brainstorm, or you can adapt mind mapping, and there are different methods to do it. So based on the insights, you will get to know what exactly where we have to solve the problem. And then the next step would be sorry, yeah. The next step would be like once you find out the problems, you come up with a design. So in many companies, the design system is already built in. If not, we have to build the design system where we have to craft with UI elements and colors and test and build a library out of it. But since we already have a design system, we kind of drafted the based on the existing components, and then we move on to the stakeholder approvals. So basically, in our cases, again the stakeholders are the product owners and the product managers, where we will be trying to get those approvals. So once we get the approval, then we will be giving those designs to the developers, where we kind of give guidelines to the users, to the developers, and we also just share our component libraries, so that like once the component is reused, it will be much easier for the developers to reuse it as well. So it's best we kind of give the guidelines and the components to the developers when we do the handoff, like a style guide and the design system library. So once we did the pilot, then we kind of made the stakeholders understand that how the importance of UX is, and then we started the timeline. So basically, you will start examining the entire product functionalities and everything, and so you slowly have to pitch in the timeline, and you get the budget for it. And based on the budget, you kind of establish all the uh, you kind of establish all the needed components and the buffers and everything. So this is the approach we kind of followed. So basically, the same approach is applied in each of the modules. So that's how this entire timeline is covered up. So you basically can see it's like repetitive patterns with the same approach. So basically, we break down the modules into different sections, and then we kind of put it in cycle into it. So far, do you guys have any doubts or anything like that needs to be clarified? So this is the process we adapt in Lenovo for design process in Lenovo for redesign of a product. Okay, I will just move on to importance of case study. So for people who not a small idea about what case study is, like case study is something that you present to the potential client or the employer, where it's like a storytelling that explaining your unique journey of the design process that you have adapted. So basically, to the potential client or the employer, you kind of give the insight. It kind of gives the insights on what your thought process is and how you approach the problem solving and skills, and it kind of shows how you researched and analyzed the data, and how you came up with the design decisions and iterations and solutions. So basically, case study kind of narrates itself with the potential client and employer, where it kind of shows your unique approaches in every aspect of the design methods. So it's really important that you build a proper case study, and it will also act as a evidence when you pitch it with the client. Like when they ask how you come up and concluded with this particular solution, you can kind of track back to it and show like this is how the evidence is, like the research process and everything. So it kind of helps in saying the entire journey of the design process that you have adopted. So case study is very much important when you present portfolio to the company, so it's easier for the employees to understand it. So I'll just move on to UX metrics. Does anyone know like what is UX metrics? Like what is it about?
Not sure, Manoj.
Okay. Sure, because this is little bit advanced. Like once you completed your designs, or if you are doing redesign, where you need to understand what is the current metrics of UX in the current product. So basically, UX metrics is nothing but like, have you ever wondered like how to measure the effectiveness of the design that we build? So we basically try to create better user experience, but we have to understand whether it works or not. So we use UX metrics to understand whether the design is actually successful or not. So UX metrics kind of provide evidence to support design decisions, helping us to justify based on the data and feedback we get from metrics. So based on the feedbacks, we kind of can justify to the product owner or product manager, or it can be the CEO of the client, or so we can kind of justify these are the reasons we got from the research, and this is how we came up with the design decisions. And also it helps in having better clarity on user behavior and preferences. So sometimes let's say we have e-commerce website, so we can understand the pattern the users are trying to purchase. So when you test it out, it will be easy to understand what the process is, how the funnel process goes into it. And also it kind of identifies where you are missing the point, where you can actually improve the areas of improvements based on the needs and pain points. So you can understand the needs and pain points and UX metrics as well. So basically it's like a part of the research. And another valid point is like many clients, or let's say the product owners or product managers, they will ask you like, why do we need UX? Why do we need to invest on UX? Or why do we need to get budget and like spend money on you to improve the experience? So this kind of validates it and provides the value and impact on the business goals that UX efforts brings on it. So once we show that metrics, once we show there is an improvement to UX and there is a better revenue coming into it, then they kind of understand what the UX efforts are really valuable to the product. So the UX metrics kind of helps in that aspect as well. So whenever the product owner, or like I have faced this many times in the uh, many clients and product owners, and this actually helped me really a lot. So it's always best to have some data to provide the evidence, and we can show that it's really valuable. So UX metrics, like I have mentioned here, like it has like many metrics where it's like loyalty, usability, and user behavior. So basically, loyalty metrics is something like assessing whether the users really loyal and have been satisfied with the products. So there are like multiple metrics like scores like NPS, SAT. I can share these in because there's those kind of things which have particular set of questions, and based on that formula you apply, you get the score, and you can understand whether there's an improvement or not. So loyalty is about satisfaction of the user, and usability metrics is about accessibility and the effectiveness of the design. So we will try to understand how a task success rate, whether they were able to achieve the goal or not, how much time they have taken to achieve the goal. So basically we will measure those times and success rate into usability. And then the last will be user and behavior metrics. So in user and behavior metrics, it will be more focused on what kind of like a conversion rates and then the banner engagement. Like for example, let's say there's a e-commerce website where they have put the banner. We'll try to understand how many users have actually looked at the banner and they were trying to purchase it. So we'll kind of understand how engaged the users were in each particular sessions. And at the same time, as an entire website, as a behavior as well, we'll try to understand whether they were able to purchase the product or not. So we will try to understand how the conversion rate was. So moment they land, how much people have actually purchased to it, how much people has abandoned to the particular page. Based on those data, we kind of understand what is the exact reason they have left it, and based on that we can improve the experience for the users. So these are the highly used metrics types, but there are others which are like there are many things that's coming up, so I can share those informations as well. Like these metrics depends on the project to project and the situations, the context. So sometimes mostly people use usability because they want to understand whether the task is successful or not, but sometimes people look for behavior. So in internal projects or in dashboards in internal company, they usually looks for usability. But when it comes to the open platform like e-commerce, people usually use user behaviors metrics. So it depends on the project to project. So I'll just take a pass. Like, do you guys have any questions or anything?
Nothing from my side. Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll just move on to networking. So this is something which is very much important for personal growth, just like case studies, like where in each stages, in every stage of the designers, like whether they are newcomers or like mid-level or senior, they need a networking where they can further improvise it. So there are many ways where you can network, and through network you can learn about the industry. Like through people you can get the exposure of how the industry works. For example, I connect with a senior designer who works in cryptocurrency, so I can actually try to have a conversation with them and try to understand how the UX user experiences in cryptocurrency. So different industry with people with different industry, we kind of get the exposure on different industries, and how the design perspective is, and how the technology and their approaches in each industries. So, and also sometimes when you network with people, you can actually collaborate and work on many projects or the startups. You can become an entrepreneur when you have similar ideas with the other designers. So there are many ways to network. So mainly I would prefer conference, workshops, and meetups because it's like it gives a real connection to the people where you met in real life, and then you have real conversations where it kind of builds a quick rapport and they really help you out in many ways. Other than that, if we don't have those options, then we can go for coffee chats or mentor. So basically, you can. There are many websites like the ADP list and coffee chats where you can try to approach the designers in multiple MNCs, and you can discuss about how that day is about and how they work and how they kind of build a rapport with developers and product managers and what's the useful trends. So you can discuss about it with mentors or coffee chats, and you can clarify the doubts that you have, like how you want to present your case studies, or if you want to have review on your portfolios, you can share with them in coffee chats and mentor, which I did it as a fresher, and it really helped me to grow up. And then there is another way which is the best. I feel like hackathon is like a way, it's a fun way where not only you meet new people, but you can also level up your skill as well. And at the same time, you get hands-on experience with team members of designers and developers. So as a fresher, hackathon will be like a warm-up of getting into industry where you get to know about how you can work with, collaborate with other designers and developers, and you can understand where you lack and how you can kind of improvise yourself on skills and everything. And last is the social media. Of course, like you would have seen many communities where you can like there are slacks, discords, where you can post about your queries or your doubts and everything, and people from other places can kind of guide you up virtually. So it's like it's a open platform where in communities many people can come and chat with you, and but it's the you won't get real close connections until like you find a proper mentor or something. But it's again a platform where it kind of give a start for it. So these are different ways where you can network, and LinkedIn is also a best way in social media where you can connect with all the mentors or the seniors, where you get to get an update on their blogs, their design process, where they can post about it. Like you can call it a few as influencers who will be there in LinkedIn who can guide as well. So networking is very much important even in to get a job. So but it's not like when you connect with them directly asking a job and referring is not a good way. So you can slowly start have a good rapport with them, understanding how everything works and how what they do, and then you can slowly talk about whether how we can fit into the system of the design team and everything. S- So these are the ways we can network. And yeah, I will just conclude here. Do you guys have any doubts or anything that you want to discuss about?
Uh, like can you like go and discuss more about your background? How did you actually get a job and break it into UX industry?
So mine was like different. So basically, I created my own product of like it's a food application where I kind of presented with which has a return of investment value, and one of the company liked it and they hired me, and it's I kind of started from there, and then I started working as for Ford Motors, where I was working in Chennai Metro, where I got the chance to actually research into topics and everything. So I would say the case study kind of helped me, where I built a entire like from scratch to end, and they kind of like the my design process, and that's where it started. And one thing that I really look for when I'm because of course I got few companies, and the factors that I look for when selecting the company was like I was kind of evaluating my future team members, I can say, where I was looking to people where there will be a design team of consisting of 10 to 15 people. That's one factor I wanted to check into it. Another was like how their work experience, like how their work processes, so that when I enter into it as a fresher, I can learn from them what are the things like they are doing it. So that is something I did it in LinkedIn, and I went through their case studies and portfolios. So that is something that helped me. So which helped me properly land into in a good company where it gave me immediate growth in for 1 year in the start.
Yeah, thank you. Um, so did you like have a portfolio to advertise to your uh, potential employers?
Mostly I don't have a portfolio. I just share my Figma file through an interview. Uh, the thing is like since many years like mostly I have signed NDA documents, I can't share the file and or add it up in portfolio. So what I do is like I give a small presentable mockup as a PDF, and then in during interviews I will kind of explain each product and everything, which I can share it through Figma. Again, it's like a sharing through like a summarized version of the case study.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, one more question.
Yeah,
I know that you hire people, right? You
yeah.
hire people for your company.
Yeah.
So when you hire like a junior UX designer or researcher, like what do you look forward to? Like,
So I basically look forward to how they come up with design decisions and how they kind of come up with a solution. So I basically look for the process they adapt to it. So since like many people can conclude with it, like I will try to understand how he started and how the person has started and how they try to adapt to the design decisions they have taken.
okay. So I mean, there are different UX roles, right? You have
Yeah,
UX researcher, you have UX
yeah,
designer, then there's something like UI designer.
yeah.
Uh, what do you think? So as a fresher, do they have to focus on like one particular uh, route of user UX, or like be like a generalist, or like become like a specialist in one of the thing.
Okay, I would say you UX designer or US user researcher is like you have to be specialized on one. But in terms of UI, at the same time, it's always good to know basics of other stuff as well. So that because it's like an entire process. Let's say I'm a UX designer and there's a UI designer. Let's say I'm the UI designer. There is some other UX designer who has built the wireframe and everything. I can be part of the team where I can provide my suggestions or like brainstorm along with them. And based on that, I have to do the conversion based on the wireframe. So I can actually kind of improvise and I can adapt to it. Until unless I do not know what exactly wireframe is or anything, I cannot move further into it. So it's always good to have basic knowledge in other stuff as well as you focus on the specifics. But as a fresher, I would suggest having UX is very much basic. It's like a foundation. So it's always good to know having a UX skill. So like I said, it's like a life skill. So it's always good when you, let's say you come up with a mock-up as visual designer, we need to ensure that the buttons and the interactions are actually in a proper way, whether it's navigating or whether it's achieving. So it's always good to have UX skills as a basic.
Thank you. um does anyone else have any questions? Yeah, I guess that's that.
Okay.
Do drop your LinkedIn URL if you have one, so that the folks can connect with you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I will drop my email ID. If you want to have a chat, you can connect with me through email ID where we can have sessions, like one on one, and at the same time, I can share my LinkedIn as well. Just give me a second. Yeah.
And is Lenovo hiring any UX or UI roles right now?
They are hiring and they are looking for people who are above 8 to 10 years experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just started. The team is slowly expanding since the product is getting expanded. So I think the hiring will start from next year.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Manoj. It was such a great pleasure to having you here, and we learned a lot about UX related jobs, how to network, all those things. Thank you so much, Manoj.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for the opportunity. Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining in. We'll see you later. Yeah, bye.